This episode is dedicated to Sherrilynn. Sherrilynn, you will see God move mountains in your life. Welcome to Joy & Olives, episode number 17. 17 is actually the biblical number for perfect victory. And one of the reasons why that is because the first time 17 is mentioned in the Bible, it was referring to the day that God brought Noah's Ark to rest on top of the mountain of Ararat, which is located in present-day Turkey. And you can actually read all about that in Genesis chapter 8. Speaking of mountains and victory, I actually just hung out with a childhood friend of mine named Sherrilynn. And you know what? She victoriously summited not one, but two mountains last year. The first mountain was Mount Kinabalu in Malaysia, the third highest island peak in the world. And the second one was Rainbow Mountain in Cusco, Peru. And guess what? It's actually rainbow in color. I had no idea until I Googled photos of it. And why I'm having her on the show in the first part of 2024 is because I figured that in the last 16 episodes of Joy & Olives, y'all have heard enough of my voice already. So my goal for this year is to share more of my friends' hilarious yet moving stories about anything. And it just so happens that Sherrilynn has some really cool stories about her trip. So join me now in her kitchen where she opens up about what it's like to almost not summit and how to deal with, shall we say, not so pleasant people on your way up. I wanted to come over to your house today, Sherrilynn, because, well, first of all, we don't work with each other anymore, and I do miss our deep conversations. I miss how you used to bring your office chair over to my desk, and we would just talk about really deep things, and you would bring something up that I would not expect. It would always just be like some unexpected question, and then it would just lead into a 20 to 30 minute conversation.
I don't miss it because I always remember being scared talking to you because one sentence can lead to like a 1 hour conversation. And I told you this before, right?
Yeah. I didn't know you were scared though.
Yeah, like no work will be done for the next 1 hour because we were just really having a conversation. So I only come to you like after work.
Yeah, and today is your off day, so yeah. I'm glad that you seem relaxed.
Yeah, good. Not really. I'm very nervous actually.
Really?
Yeah. I've never been on a podcast before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just enjoy.
And I'm hearing myself.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's weird. It sounds very professional.
Can I ask you? Yeah. It seems that with all of your trips, you're challenging yourself, or at least the trips that you took last year.
Yeah.
Was that intentional, or you didn't realize it? And I'm wondering, like, if your next trip is going to be as challenging as it was. Like, you're going to climb some mountain again?
Yeah. So my brother's girlfriend asked us, like, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, it's meant to be a holiday. I'm like, yeah. But okay. For Mount Kinabalu, I've always wanted to climb a mountain. So it was kind of like one of my wish lists, like my bucket list. Yeah. So climbing Mount Kinabalu was something that it was a challenge, and I knew that it was going to be a challenge, but I didn't go there to challenge myself. I actually went there to tick off a bucket list. But I was also curious to find out how it would feel like the summit. Yeah.
What did it feel like?
It was fine, actually. Okay, so a story. Basically on the first day, so this climb is like a 2-day climb for Mount Kinabalu. The first day you have to climb 6 kilometers up the mountain, and that's where you rest. That's like your what do you call that? Your rest place. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, for my American friends, 6 kilometers is.
Right.
I need to do the conversion. Okay, it's 3.72 miles. Or actually, technically 3.73 miles.
This sounds very little. 3 compared to 6.
We'll stick to the 6 kilometers.
Yeah. So the 6 kilometer mark, right? And then like the next day, we had to climb. We had to wake up at 3 a.m.
Wow.
And we had to start our climb. We had to wake up at 2 plus a.m. and then we had to start at about 3. Yeah. And it was really dark. Yeah, and there were a lot of hikers. And it was really, really cold too. Reason why we start our climb early is because the hikers would usually want to catch the sunrise. Yeah, but to me, it didn't really matter to me because, you know, sunrise everywhere is beautiful, right? You don't have to climb a mountain to like see a beautiful sunrise. Yeah, so anyway, we had to climb from the 6 kilometer all the way up to the 8.5 kilometers. So 8.5 is where the summit is.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it was really, really scary because on the second day, the terrain was a little bit different from the first day. So for the first day, as I was saying, like there were a lot of stairs. But for the second day, there were stairs, but there were also slopes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was something that I was not prepared for. Because like before that, I would like watch a lot of YouTube videos on like people climbing. They did not put in the slope in their video.
Okay. And when you say slope, I mean, I'm assuming, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's just like a flat slope with just like a rope for you to like pull yourself up.
Okay.
So it's really, really scary.
And it's dark.
And it's dark, yeah. So you have to like wear your headlamp, but then, you know, it was really scary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, because to me, like something that like one thing that really scared me was because I was really tired from like climbing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when I looked down, like literally if you collapse, you will roll down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are there people behind you?
Yeah, there are a lot of people. Yeah, so it's good to also see that there were a lot of like tired tourists around, so you know that you're not alone. Yeah. But anyway, we actually signed up for this Via Ferrata activity, and we were supposed to reach the summit by 6 a.m. so that we could start the activity at about 7. Yeah, so we needed to like kind of like climb as fast as we could. Yeah, but the thing is that before the trip started, my friends and I, we made a pact that if like 3 of us can make it for the Via Ferrata activity, but only one can't, we will still go ahead with it. Go ahead with it. Yeah, so like everyone should be fine with it. Like we should be fine being left alone kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because we paid a lot for the Via Ferrata activity. So anyway, sounds like a really long story.
It's okay.
You're gonna edit a lot.
Continue.
Yeah. So Via Ferrata. Yeah. So honestly speaking, when I was at the 8 kilometer mark, the sun was already rising. It was really, really beautiful. But I didn't see like the sun itself. I saw the sun rays because the sun itself was covered by another hill when I was climbing up. Yeah, and so I was telling myself, you know what? I was actually very convinced that I didn't have to summit because I can see the sunrise. Yeah. It's like beautiful, and like I was just telling myself that, you know what? I'm contented with where I am. Like, you know, it's fine. Like, it's an achievement.
Yeah,
8 kilometers. You know,
it's
like better than 0 kilometers, right? I was, and I just sat there. I was so convinced. I convinced myself that this is the highest that I will go, and I'm fine with it. Yeah, and so I sat there for like 10 to 15 minutes, and with like my mucus coming out of my nose because it was so cold. Yeah. I was just like so fine with it. I was just like shaking my legs, like, "Ooh, the Lord is great, like it's beautiful," right? Yeah, and then, okay, so basically, when you climb up this mountain, Mount Kinabalu, you will be attached to a tour guide, a mountain guide. Yeah, so even if you are a single climber, you will still be attached to a tour guide.
Oh,
yeah. So a tour guide takes up to 5 people. Yeah, so if your group is like 10, you will have 2 tour guides. Yeah, and these tour guides also act as like porters. Yeah, so they will help you like carry the stuff up. They're really strong. They're small and strong. Yeah.
Small and strong.
And here we're like big and not strong. Yeah. But anyway, so so I was just like chilling on the 8 kilometer mark.
And sorry, your friends have already
only one was ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah, the other 2 were behind me.
Okay.
Yeah. So after like 15 minutes, they caught up to me. And then I was like, I'm going to stay here. And then one of my friends said, no, you can't stay here, you have to summit. And I'm like, no, I don't have to. I'm fine here. Yeah. And then the tour guide came and said, I think you should summit. Then I'm like, no. It was like, whatever, up to you. Then I'm like, I don't know why that statement made me feel like, you're right. Yeah, I'm like, okay, fine, you're right. Let me sum it up. Yeah, and so like I begrudgingly picked my legs up and started walking up to the summit. Yeah, and then there was one of my friend who was like ahead of me, right? She she actually waited for us because she's like the strongest among us, basically. Yeah, so she waited for us. So the pack that I told you about just now, yeah, she decided not to submit. She decided to wait for us, and I thought that was such a, I don't know, it was a display of leadership. A fine display. Because yeah, I mean, we decided that, you know, we are not going to like kind of like
wait for each other.
Yeah, but she decided to wait, and I asked her like, why did you wait for us? You could you literally could have gone for the Via Ferrata. Yeah. So ended up we submitted very late, by the way. We submitted at about 9 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were a few hours late actually.
And there's like no refund.
No refund.
Wow.
Yeah, but we were so I asked my friend, like, why do you not submit and just go for the Via Ferrata? Because that was something that we already agreed upon. So there will be no hard feelings if you went by yourself, you know, or you went for it, you know. She was like, but that's not what we came here for. We came here to summit together. We did not come here for the Via Ferrata activity.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that was so good. That was a fun display of
leadership.
Yeah, and
wow.
Yeah, that was really nice. Nice thing of her to do.
Wow. And
so we all submitted, yes, long story short. I think one thing that this trip taught me is to know your objective. Yeah, actually it works for everything. Like when you know your objective, if you know the why, right? Like
Simon Sinek.
Yeah. It's a trending thing right now, but it's very true. Like if you understand your objective, and when you know your objective, you know why you are doing what you are doing. Actually, it solves a lot of problems in that sense. Not solve a lot of problems, but
provides clarity, right?
Yeah, provides clarity to what you are doing. Yeah, just like another thing that I really that I really learned about this trip is to take breaks. Yeah, because it's not because you are weak that you are taking a break. It's that it's the wisest thing to do. Yeah, and another thing would be to take small steps. So literally, you can always be pushing yourself, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't be pushing yourself so much that you miss the objective, which is to submit. Yeah, because like I've heard a few stories about how people stayed at the 6 kilometer mark because they were pushing themselves too much on the first day. Yeah, so because they push themselves, I mean, it's good to push yourself, but at the same time, if you push yourself until you forget your main objective, then that's not what you should be doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you took that break and you saw the sun rays, and you still got to enjoy that moment, and then when you summited, that's just with the cherry on top.
So coming back to that, right, like to my Peru trip, so when we were climbing up, we climbed up Rainbow Mountain. Yeah, and Rainbow Mountain was also its altitude was really high as well. So actually, if any of you are planning to go to Peru to climb Rainbow Mountain and like to go to Machu Picchu, or like take the Salcantay Pass trail, and there are a lot of like reviews that say that you should do Rainbow Mountain last, trust them. Yeah, because when we were planning, I don't want to name names, but like my brother he convinced the whole group that we should go to Rainbow Mountain first because it's the most difficult. And like we should just finish the most difficult thing first, and then everything else will be fine.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, precisely. That's why we all agreed. So I'm not 100% blaming him. Yeah, but it was the wrong decision because when we climbed out the Rainbow Mountain, it was we were already like suffering from altitude sickness, right? And because like when you climb up these mountains, like the tour bus has to kind of like drive you to a starting point, like from your hotel to the starting point. So when they are like driving you to the starting point, they will be driving you like in rounds because like you need to drive up the hill, right? So the roads are very windy. Yeah, and it's the worst feeling ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought I was very used to windy roads because when I was a child, I would follow my parents to go to like the outskirts, and there will be a lot of windy roads. But yeah, this is like another different level. Yeah. So anyway, when I was climbing up Rainbow Mountain, I was one of the slowest to climb. Yeah, because it was really, really very difficult. Like the altitude was really, was honestly, I think it's worse than Mount Kinabalu, I think. Or maybe also because I didn't like...
You didn't train.
I didn't train as hard.
You didn't climb every single stair.
I did, but I didn't run almost every day. Yeah, so yeah, but anyway. So, don't want to name names again, but my brother, he was like, "You're so slow." He doesn't sound like that, but he sounds like that in my mind. Like, "You're so slow," and like, "You're so weak." Like, he kept saying that to me, you know. He was so annoying, and like he would like literally put his leg in front of my leg to kind of like trick me. Yeah.
Brothers. Wow, I know. Yeah. Even at this age.
I have a few brothers. Yeah. So yeah, and like I just told him like because I went through Mount Kinabalu, right? So I told him like I'm just resting. Yeah. But resting doesn't mean that I'm weak. Yeah. And also because like his housemate was also very like he felt like vomiting a lot because of the altitude. Yeah. So it's very understandable to want to rest, right? Yeah. So but my brother kept like jeering me. Yeah, and then I was like, you know what, whatever. Like because I have climbed Mount Kinabalu. And he even said, "Ooh, you've climbed Mount Kinabalu before. I thought you've climbed a mountain. Why are you taking so much rest?" Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I climbed Mount Kinabalu, that's why I know that I need to take a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. And then but okay, so what I'm trying to like say was that, so the person that I did not want to name names, like he basically at this one point of the climb, he decided that he wanted to take a horse. Yeah. Was it because he was tired? Maybe not. I do not know.
Did you like give him a really hard time for it?
But so when he's rode on the horse, like clapped at him and like, "Yeah, great job! Woo! Finally admitting to your weakness! Woo!" Yeah, which is not a weakness. I mean, yeah, it's good that he decided that, you know what, I cannot take it anymore. I'm gonna ride a horse. But I mean, if you're going to jeer someone, right? Like, if you're going to put someone down, make sure that you're not as low as them, right? At least make sure that you're higher than them or something, like better than them. Yeah. Yeah, so I also learned that sometimes, you know, insecure people, they tend to pull people down so that they will feel more secure themselves. I hope he's not listening to this.
I'll just casually forward him the link. I'm like, heard of the Joy and Olive show.
Yeah, so yeah, and then when he was up in the peak, like so like basically at the end of like so basically at the end, like towards the last like straw of Rainbow Mountain, you have to like climb some steps like for about 5-10 minutes. I mean, about 15 to 30 minutes. Yeah. When I almost reached the top, right, he was down there waiting for me, like for the rest also, right? And he was like, "Oh, you're almost there, you're almost there." I'm like, whatever, man. It's like, then when I reached out the summit, he was like, "I was here first." I'm like, whatever, you cheated, bro. Like, good on you. You decided that, you know what, I'm not as strong as I think I am, and I want to rest. Like, good on you. And like, I'm so proud of you, bro. But like, at the same time, like, you were first because you cheated. So like, you paid money, like you threw money at a problem. So like, does it build your character? I'm not gonna be your judge.
So was that a fun display of leadership?
I'm not gonna say anything.
If I were to ever marry someone, I think I would want to go on like a long trip with their sister and just like ask them like how they were treated on every family vacation. It's really important question.
Yeah.
Did you have conversations with God on your way up both of these mountains, Rainbow Mountain, Mount Kinabalu? Do you talk to God while you trek?
Yeah. For Mount Kinabalu, I had a really good conversation with the Lord. So basically, climbing up a mountain for the first time was really daunting. Because it's something that you've never done before. Yeah, and you do not know whether you're going to reach it or not, reach the summit or not, right? Yeah, and then many times speaking for myself, when I am tired, I will lose track of what I intend, of my objective. Yeah, I lose track of my objective, and I will tend to complain, and I'll tend to doubt myself. Yeah, but don't be tricked by that, because you can do it one lah. Nothing is impossible. I am possible. When I was walking up Mount Kinabalu, there was a song that came to my head, and it was "Never Walk Alone." Not the Liverpool anthem, yeah, but it's the one by Hillsong. Yeah, and the lyrics were the lyrics are really simple but very powerful.
Is it the one that goes, "And I'll never walk alone"?
Yeah, that one.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, it says that I have never walked alone. I've never been abandoned. You are my inheritance. You are my strength and shield. And
confidence.
And I have confidence that you go before me. Yeah, in the bridge it says, in every triumph, every failure, you are loyal to me. You are faithful, and you always will be. Yeah, I think like a person who is loyal is someone that will keep his or her promises. Yeah, so when I was climbing up the mountain and I felt very tired, and this song was just playing in my mind, and it taught me that like if God says that He will never let me walk alone, because of His loyal nature, He will not let me walk alone. He will walk with me. Yeah, so that was something that really pushed me up the mountain. Yeah, I mean, of course, with willpower as well.
Yeah.
But like without this song, actually, this song kind of comforted me a lot, because like I was just meditating a lot about God's character and nature. Yeah, that He is loyal.
Can we just give it up for Sherrilynn? You know, when I went over to her house, I did not prep her in advance. I took my podcast mic out of my bag. I whipped it out of my bag, actually, and I placed it on her kitchen table, and I said, you know, I think what you have to share will be super interesting. Do you mind if I record it? And she was actually up for it. So everything that you heard just now was not scripted. It was truly from her heart. And I love her sass. I love that she's so authentic. And you know what? Remember how she said at the beginning of the podcast that she would be really scared talking to me at work because our conversations would go on longer than she would expect? Well, let me tell you, when I sat at her kitchen table, I was like, Sherrilynn, this is just going to be, about like a 20, 30-minute conversation. And we ended up talking at least 2 hours. So this is just part one, but I can't wait for you all to come back for part two. We talk about something completely different, and it's a topic that's close to both of our hearts. So look out for my part two with Sherrilynn. I wanted to end this podcast praying for people who feel like they're going up a very difficult, steep mountain where the journey is long and it's dark and the air is super thin, all the things that Sherrilynn experienced, but maybe it's not that you're going up Mount Kinabalu or Rainbow Mountain, but it's your work, it's a relationship. And I want you to know that Jesus loves you so much, and I believe he had you listen to this podcast for a reason. So, dear Jesus, you know exactly what these people are feeling, and you helped me come out of a very similar situation. I really couldn't see how I was going to make it to the very top of this mountain, but you said that as long as we have faith as small as a mustard seed, that we could speak to this mountain, be removed, and it would be cast into the sea for us. So I declare that these insurmountable obstacles that people are facing, that little tiny bit of faith that has been sown into their hearts from this podcast would spring up into the biggest fulfillment of a dream in which they get to be at the very top of the mountain. And the best part will be that they see that you have always been there at their side, that you have never let them climb up this mountain alone, and that you've even carried them on your shoulders when they really could not even take one more step forward, because that's how faithful you are. In Jesus' name, amen.